Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Jurassic World. Let's continue. So I don't know where this is going to continue. We played the prologue and that was the Jurassic Park movie setup. So are we going to run through like all of the Jurassic Park movie first? If we are, I then have to kind of wonder, is that because of DLC that I bought? I mean, I just don't know. This intro seems a little too, like, introductory. It seems too integrated into the game that there would just be a tagged on DLC. And so, like, you have right here at the beginning, the Jurassic World. What is this? This is the replay. And a map. Ooh, interesting. A map of the island, which I'm sure fans of the Jurassic series, if that's what they call it even, love that concept of a map. And there's like 2 islands, so I wouldn't be surprised if the other island is Jurassic World.
Good morning, sirs, madam. Welcome
So I
to
guess
Jurassic Park.
we're going to do Jurassic Park first, which is what I was saying last time is the right way to do it. I would say is at least see, we can see the map this way too, then have to hit B several times. At least watch the first movie before playing this game. Stay away from the rotor blades. So we're gonna follow the blue dots and follow the guide. The trail of guide stones to reach your destination. Okay, I was already doing that, but whatever. Hop into the Jeep. This is a nice little Lego Jeep design. Always kind of difficult. Now, no instructions on how to drive this thing. So, right trigger to speed up, left trigger to go in reverse. It seems like A also speeds up, X honks the horn, B goes reverse, and Y gets in and out. Okay, we figured that out.
Give me a break. If you need spares, get them from storage, not from one of the control panels.
So this gate is closed. And we have a marker pointing us here. And we can't just climb over. Ah, here we go. Fix this. And am I a member of Engine so I can use it? No. But apparently he is. So this matching game, I don't really love it. But it's like down, right, down. But it's acceptable. It's not much of a puzzle is the problem. But this is also a kid's game, so why would I really expect it to be super difficult? Let's let the lady drive. It switches to
Let's get something
cutscene.
straight, John. Your investors, whom I represent, are deeply concerned. 48 hours from now, if they aren't convinced, I'm not convinced. They'll shut you down, John.
See, and that seems like that should be the other way around.
Alan, this species of variformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing isn't this thing.
I guess that's an interesting thought, is they're bringing back the plants from that time too somehow. Although technically the truth is they didn't bring back dinosaurs at all. They genetically engineered some new creatures
It's a
using
dinosaur.
half
Make a fortune with this
dinosaur, half frog DNA.
How fast are they?
Well, we clocked the T-Rex at 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh.
Say again.
We have a T-Rex.
I think this was a Bronchiosaurus.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
See, that line should have been at the start menu as soon as we start the game.
How'd you do this? I'll show you.
So we're kind of loading right now, even though the game's trying to hide it in kind of a poor way. Having the characters just stand around and not movable is not a very good way to do it. Let's see, how far back this direction can we wander? Oh, this is full on just open world. Immediately you get a fall rescue. Looks like I've found some kind of orange wall that will need a super powerful character to break. That's an interesting thought. Who would be among the humans that you're going to play as, assuming we don't ever play as a dinosaur? Who would have extra strength that they could break a door? I don't know. It's probably gonna be somebody with a like shotgun or a walking like exoskeleton or something along that lines. And then we got a lot of map stations everywhere. We're in the overworld. You can tell because we're collecting studs and it's not filling in a true survivor bar.
Those gates ain't moving until they install the gears and whatnots, which is fine by me because they've only got herbivores on this side of them.
Let's see. Will this lady give me her tool? Seems like they will at some point. Seems like there should be some way up there, but I don't see any collectible. So the prologue was only about 30 minutes, and I imagine it may take 30 minutes just to get to this first level. This is the new way of doing Lego games, is breaking the game into open world slash this guy, he has his razor claw still, carrying that around. Never gonna get rid of it. I suppose I wouldn't either. If I had a Velociraptor's claw, I'd probably carry it with me all the time too. Well, I do carry a knife around with me. Almost everywhere I'm allowed to carry it, so... So the engine is interesting because that says engine on the door, and I'm not sure if, and it says engine here, I'm not sure if the engine company really exists in the Jurassic Park movie series. I'm supposed to be taking a car here. There is a slight problem with car placement, I can tell you. There should probably be a car on the outside of every single gate, just parked. That way, if somebody does happen to stupidly just decide to walk, then they don't have to walk the whole way. Let's see, what's this thing do? Here's a car summoner. So I got the car, but I think I'm gonna only go like 5 blocks and then be done with it. Here we go.
You'll find a great dino fat just down there.
Don't be alarmed if you see philosophers, whatever those are, button heads. That was just a loading screen.
Amusement park in the entire world.
See, and I think amusement park's the wrong way to sell it. I think you would absolutely say it's a zoo, not an amusement park.
Why don't you all sit down?
There's nothing wrong with a zoo having a few rides too, but focus it on the animals.
Years ago, there were mosquitoes, just like today. Sometimes, after biting a dinosaur, the mosquito would land on the branch of a tree and become fossilized. This is what we call amber.
So, and they found exactly one of those.
Jurassic Park scientists extract the preserved blood from the mosquito
and got the blood from one mosquito.
Make a baby dinosaur.
And that would have made one dinosaur.
Good day, sir. Perfect timing.
So how they make all the other dinosaurs?
They imprint on the first creature they come in contact with. That's it.
Some kind of control you're attempting is, it's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life, finds a way.
What species is this? It's a velociraptor.
They're lethal at 8 months, and I do mean lethal. I've hunted most things that can hunt you, but the way these things move, 50, 60 miles per hour if they ever got out in the open. They remember.
And so they're feeding this poor cow to this. Did this happen in the Jurassic Park movie? I just don't remember this character at all. I haven't watched the Jurassic Park movie in a long time. Now the Telltale games, not to be confused with TT Games, the makers of this game, and all LEGO games, had a Jurassic Park game that was awful, and in that they introduced kind of this very dangerous giant bug-like creature that was the main protagonist, because pretty much every time you go through one of these stories you have to have something bigger and badder. The first movie they have pretty standard things with the T-Rex and the Velociraptors, which are, I assume, real dinosaurs and really dangerous dinosaurs, as they all would have been. But by the time you're in Jurassic World, they're kind of just making up dinosaurs, I think, or at least feels that way. It's creatures we've never heard of, and of course then you have to get down to the thought that we now think more than likely dinosaurs had feathers that were brightly colored, and so they look nothing like what these creatures are. Doesn't really hurt the story too much though, because like I said before, these quote-unquote dinosaurs aren't actually dinosaurs anyways. They're genetically engineered creations on a level that is beyond our current capability, and they're made up totally, because where would they get the DNA for all these different creatures? That one mosquito would have fed on multiple dinosaurs, and were there even mosquitoes in that time period? That kind of gets glossed over too. Have mosquitoes not changed at all in size or shape or function or how they feed? But yeah, that one mosquito would have had to have fed on every single style of dinosaur that happened. And there's a lot of them, and they only cover a few, which of course it's a movie. Even though I do like the Jurassic Park movie series, I still am a bigger fan also of the Dinotopia style of story, in which they learn to live with the dinosaurs and the dinosaurs become intelligent. As far as your dinosaur fiction, I imagine there's enough room for both. Can't get these scorpions, and that kind of makes very little sense that these scorpions would be running around. So there was like absolutely nothing in this forward area, at least nothing I can get right now. And so what am I supposed to be doing? 3 of those. I'm about halfway through with the game, according to the bar. This is rather strange. There must be something that you have to do to get that open. I don't know what a pink Lego would mean. There's number 4. And they were trying to feed the velociraptors, and I'm not supposed to do anything there. And I'm not supposed to push this. I'm not supposed to push this. Oh, I missed apparently this thing, this very important thing. I went through the entire level and having not seen that. That's pretty ridiculous.
Isn't that part of the paddock control panel?
So they're gonna catapult a cow into the thing. Interesting. So we follow the pattern. There we go. Up, down, up, down, up. Already we can tell they needed a secondary puzzle system. That's not interesting enough to do it. This is weird. I've never seen Lego barbed wire before. I'm a little surprised that Lego even allowed for there to be a barbed wire thing. Lego, the actual company, not that licenses out Lego, has a very strict, like, no vehicles of war style, so they'll never do tanks, they'll never do army things. Well, yeah, I'll stick with never, even though you never say never. And so it leaves some possibilities on the cutting room floor, certainly. So I'm surprised they would even do barbed wire. Lego has that policy because, of course, they go to a lot of people all over the place, and they want to imagine themselves at least even reaching out to kids of possibly war-torn countries, and the last thing they would want to do is encourage or remind kids that those type of things are happening.
Fresh beef, huh? Boy, those raptors eat better than I do.
Oh, they're not gonna catapult the cow. They're gonna gently lift and lower the cow. This is still a pretty weird thing. Still pretty gruesome thing we're doing here.
I cannot go on. Mother, I have not been racked with such pain as this since I stubbed my toe. Someone else must operate the crane. My injuries are too severe.
Crane operators doesn't want to work, obviously. So I just turn, the crane part goes down all by itself, attaches, it lifts all by itself. The game is almost playing 50% of itself for me. It extends the crane all by itself.
What are they doing? Feeding them.
The essence of chaos.
The cat switch plays with the crane operator.
Kids!
He missed you.
And he's safe. See, and that's some of the comedy in these Lego games that was missing in Lego Lord of the Rings. Too, they tried it. I just didn't think it was funny.
Don't drive it. They're electric. They run on this track in the middle of the roadway here. Spared no expense.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Still not clear on chaos.
The shorthand is the butterfly effect. A butterfly can flap its wings and be king. In Central Park, you get rain instead of sunshine. Look at this. See? I'm right again. Nobody could have predicted that Dr. Grant would suddenly jump out of a moving vehicle.
Alan?
So what's interesting about Jurassic Park versus Jurassic World is there's an ant.
Come on, it's okay. She's sick.
That basically ignores her nephews through a lot of the movie. Where
I have to insist that we get moving.
You know, if it's all right, I'd like to stay with Dr.
grandfather
Harding and finish
here
up with the trike.
Sure.
Is a little bit
Seems to
more
happen about every
attentive
6
to
weeks or so.
I'd have to see the dinosaurs dropping.
Is that Stan Lee? Why would Stan Lee be in this game? Jurassic Park, as far as I know, has nothing to do with the Marvel Universe. Let's see what his name is. Gary Harding. Maybe I just think all Lego minifigs with a mustache are the same. Where are we in the game? We're still in the level though. But although I guess when you really think about it, it doesn't matter whether the grandfather is attentive or not. Both are just kind of contrivances to get kids in the movie. Some characters such as her will be able to find useful dino things in the dino droppings. Gosh, I can't read. She'll find things in the dung. She just dives in there.
It's so odd though.
So she gets a carrot. And
Need
then
a hand with something? No
use the watering can to grow plants. That's interesting because in previous Lego games it was you could just like, can I do anything with the bunny? You'd think the bunny and the carrot would work together. We've got a wall here of water. Let's see, and I guess I'm not supposed to feed this guy. So I'm gonna drop the carrot.
Rats.
Okay, so he does want 3 items. This guy can...
Yes, we know they're toxic, but the animals don't eat them.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
So we need another watering can. Maybe you do have to ride the Triceratops every time you want to break one of those items. It seems like there's 3 of those walls in this area.
Alright, so she's suffering from meliotoxicity.
This is a good thing that you could easily overlook as a child is just the fact that you'd basically have to firebomb an island to make a Jurassic Park. You'd have to kill every single germ, every single seed, every single plant and replace him on this now burnt out like charcoal island that you firebombed, you'd have to replace all of that with period appropriate things. That way none of these creatures got sick. They're not just gonna, dinosaurs didn't magically have an immunity to all modern disease and poisons and venoms and toxins. It's like, so she must have the watering can already. Oops. It was on her hip. I guess I should have figured that out. But it really should have had me pick that up at some point so I knew I had that item. She can just climb this. No rope or anything. Interesting. So all these little spiders, all these little insects, even birds and butterflies, none of that would be acceptable. You would have to have a huge quarantine of the island. And then that kind of destroys the thought of it ever being a zoo. And a good comparison here is, look at like panda bears. We can't even keep panda bears alive. We can't get them to breed. We can't get them to pretty much they don't want to do anything besides eat. We've destroyed their environment, and I think we mostly caused their destruction ourselves, but in the end they didn't adapt. And as survival of the fittest goes, if you can't adapt to new situations, you die. And that's exactly what's happening here. And we really don't have an idea, not a clue at all, how adaptable dinosaurs really would have been. They're huge, that's true, but that doesn't mean that they'd be able to adapt to a modern thing. If anything, being huge is probably a pain in the butt and not helpful in modern worlds. We don't have, by comparison, very many creatures that are large that are adaptable to the current world. We have elephants and things that survive in like deserts, but don't survive in urban environments. And anything big enough to be shot or to be scary to humans would probably get shot. So that the insects, cockroaches, rats, rodents, things like that have adapted to modern urban environments way better.
It's interesting. It's okay.
I'm impressed, Dr. Sattler. She's looking right as rain again. Speaking of which, we should get back to the visitor center before the storm catches us.
So you don't ride it, you just play as it. Genius. Really? This is something we haven't seen in LEGO games, and it's exactly what you need. LEGO doesn't give a lot of characters like this. There's a whole set of dragons I know, and there's probably dinosaurs out there and stuff, but almost everything is a minifig. But for a LEGO game to play as the dinosaur, for a Jurassic Park game to play as the dinosaur, that is a good idea. I'm having trouble aiming at that thing. Able to collect the thing. So I imagine that means in free play mode I can switch to dinosaurs whenever I want. And I imagine they'll only give us like 3 of them.
The car!
but that should be more than enough.
In the compound northeast of here.
What will quickly find, I bet, is that dinosaurs make little sense to play as in a lot of the areas because they just won't have enough wide enough range to walk around. Even this area is kind of small. Didn't need any help with that. Alright, so now we gotta switch. And so you had to make that final section. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Hey, we're getting a custom weather thing here. It's starting to rain, it's getting dark. He specifically said that we should get back before it started to rain. Honestly, I was not a fan of dinosaurs as a kid at all. Never even crossed my mind. But I kind of wish I was. I really do. I think it would have been a lot of fun. And so I would recommend any parents out there or any kids out there, see if you can get into dinosaurs. For a month or two. Just see if you can at least learn the names and figure out what actual periods a lot of these dinosaurs are from. Very few of them in Jurassic Park are actually from the Jurassic period. They're mostly from the Cretaceous period. And I know kids who are older than me love dinosaurs because it was a big thing and it just wasn't during my time. During my time it was more about ghosts and goblins and monsters, and I'd also try to like cowboys and Indians, but frankly I don't think you really can in modern times. There's the cowboy shows and stuff are too old. Let's just nudge her out of the way. Right, up, right. I mean left, up, right, left.
Good as new.
I know which way to hit it, I just don't know the right name for it. Here's a different door design, that's cool. I would prefer a different puzzle though. Even if they only had 2 puzzles and one was just like tap the button a lot or in some other way have like a dial spinning and tap X in a certain range. Anything like that would be helpful. I already have True Survivors, so I should probably stop running around and breaking things for no reason, but it's actually quite fun. That's the beauty of Lego games.
We better find ourselves a shortcut, Dr. Sattler. Where's the crank off the gate winch gone?
So I need to find a crank. That we will deal with cranks. That's fine in moderation, although in Lego Lord of the Rings particular, there was a lot of like find a crank, find a key stuff going on, and it happened too much.
Once we get past this fence, we'll be back at the visitor center in no time.
See, and some people could say this level is short, but I kind of feel like it's a little long. Which is fine. I'm not irritated with it or anything, it's just... I imagine once we solve this room, we'll be done. It'd be nice if we could see resurgence of cowboys and Indians, mysteries and detectives. All those things are genres that shouldn't just disappear to history. In whether they're video games or movies or TV, it's like it'd be really nice to make sure there's at least some of that happening every now and then. We don't need to just go from fad to fad and like because Marvel superhero movies are very popular, all of a sudden have nothing but superhero movies and movies and TV shows. Ooh, this is interesting. It's using the left stick getting that rotated. Well, and you have to rotate in a clockwise fashion too. You can't rotate counterclockwise. That's weird. There's a scene in Jurassic Park though where they ride a Triceratops. I think it's really strange that instead of making it a vehicle, they made it a character. But it does give some kind of personality to it. I wouldn't have been upset if they had made it a vehicle, but I also
we can get to the visitor center through that hole.
Love the idea of it being a character too. It's really smart. We're loading into a cutscene, which is always terrible.
I told you how many times we needed locking mechanisms on the vehicle doors.
Item 151 on today's glitch list. We have all the problems of a major theme park and a major zoo, and the computers aren't even on their feet yet.
Dennis, our lives are in your hands and you have butterfingers?
I'm totally unappreciated in my time. You know anybody who can network 8 connection machines and debug 2 million lines of code for what I bid for this job?
Quiet, all of you.
We're approaching the Tyrannosaur paddock.
Is Dennis the bad guy?
Remember, viable embryos. They're no use to us if they don't survive.
Yes, he is.
1.5 million if you get all 15 species off the island.
7 o'clock, D-Stock.
So they kind of totally revoiced that character. Interesting. And they said specifically 15 unique species. So in that one mosquito, 15 unique species. That seems unrealistic. That's just not how mosquitoes work. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure mosquitoes feed on something and then go away for a few days living off that blood, and they don't just constantly feed on other things. We unlocked quite a lot of characters, although when you look at this list, which is quite a large list, everything at the bottom past the little gray custom characters is DLC, I'm sure. We unlocked the Triceratops, that's lovely. Oh, and there's a whole set here, let's see. 7, 14, there's more than 15 dinosaurs there that we're gonna unlock. Well, I guess that's another level done. I think I was talking about something, but it slipped my mind. The Triceratops just blew my head. Yeah. Yeah, I was saying how the mosquito wouldn't have fed on 15 dinosaurs and you'd find 15 DNA in there. That's just not realistic. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.